live 5/6 Skyview Network, sponsored by Terry Lambert Hyundai.
It was a beautiful day today with lots of sunshine, but it sure was chilly. Our high only of 55 degrees. We get even chillier than that coming up. A detailed look at your 5% forecast today.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 6, moving Augusta forward, how a high-speed rail project could connect the Peach State.
Plus, preventing porch piracy this Christmas. How to make sure your packages make it under your tree and not someone else's.
And arming Georgia teachers, how a new plan would incentivize educators to carry guns. As your News at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery.
I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. As coverage you can count on begins with a new plan to help Augusta really take a big step toward the future when it comes to high-speed travel. Part of the bipartisan infrastructure bill would bring high-speed rail to the Garden City. It's a $30 billion investment offering high-speed rail across several states, including Georgia and South Carolina. The Corridor Identification and Development Program would link Charlotte to Atlanta with stops in Augusta, Athens, and Greenville. Senator John Ossoff's office reporting another option would connect Atlanta to Savannah with stops in Augusta, Macon, and Athens. Both options would issue a $500,000 grant to the respective Department of Transportation agencies in each town and state. They do feasibility studies, and then those studies would show which routes make sense. And Senator Ossoff, for his part, voting for that infrastructure bill and sharing this statement. He says this is a long-term project that will require cooperation and strong execution at all levels of government, but he says it has the potential to unlock huge gains in mobility and quality of life for Georgians.
An arrest has been made in a human trafficking investigation in Aiken County. 52-year-old Ping Hong Tang is charged with 7 counts of prostitution. The arrest is part of an investigation into alleged illicit massage parlors in Aiken County. Tang is booked in the Aiken County Jail.
Katie, it's time now for a first check of our weather.
Reward money is now being offered to help find a missing mother from Aiken County. Jamila Smith was last heard from on Saturday, December 2nd, around 7 p.m. Aiken County authorities say Smith made a 911 call that night saying her ex-boyfriend showed up at her Jackson, South Carolina home, and then she ran down the street to get away from him. This after a documented history of domestic violence had been reported to the couple. About the couple to the police, that is. Her ex, 34-year-old Daniel Harmon, was arrested in North Augusta and then charged with kidnapping and domestic violence.
Millie is very caring, loving, funny. I don't know what they're trying to paint about her, his family, that she's some drug addict. I know everybody's seen this video of them at the fair, but he had got into it, and she was just trying to diffuse the situation.
A private investigator can be contacted at 855-218-7772, or you can contact the Aiken County Sheriff's Office.
Georgia lawmakers will soon go back to Atlanta for the 2024 session, and one bill they'll be talking about comes from the lieutenant governor, who wants to pay teachers $10,000 more a year if they'd be willing to carry a gun in the classroom. The Georgia Association of Educators says it's going to introduce new measures to try to find other ways to compensate teachers. They say giving them guns for more money is not the solution.
It is, at best, a stopgap measure. It's a Band-Aid to try to address the issue of gun violence in our communities, which then enters our schools, because our schools are a part of our communities. Arming teachers is not the way that we are going to solve this problem, and it's not going to address the issue that is leading to violence in our schools.
The association says paying teachers more, reducing class sizes, and adding more mental health counselors is a better approach.
This week on Jenny, a former local news anchor has written a book that will speak to many of you who may be grieving the loss of a loved one this Christmas. Mooney Williams' book, Morning Joy, Life Lessons from Our Late Mothers, is a collection of stories that she believes will help people with healing. It'll help other women who have lost their moms, she hopes. Her own mother died 8 years ago, and she knows everyone has to grieve in their own way. She recalls asking her mom many questions before she slipped away.
The granules of time were just slipping by, and I was asking her this and that, and she says, "You sure are asking me a lot of questions." And I said, "Yeah, I guess I am, Mom." And she said in her southern dialect, "You must be gonna write a book." And around this same time, I started seeing so many of my friends, they were losing their moms. It seemed like every day on social media, I was seeing another post about somebody's mom passing. And it's like I heard so clearly, I believe, from God. And he said, "You're a storyteller. Tell other women's stories."
We'll hear more about the women who contributed stories to Monique's anthology. And we're going to switch gears to holiday festivities and meet the hot glue gun queen who does all kinds of imaginative designs on ugly Christmas sweaters. And Michael Siebert with some beautiful creations for your Christmas entertaining tomorrow at 12:30 on Jenny.
Coming up right here, the race for the White House continues.
We'll hear from candidates hitting the road in key battleground states this weekend.
Years ago, a local legacy was born that changed television forever.
Who would ever have thought that television would have become as important as it is, JB?
But throughout it all, one thing that has remained the same is the passion we feel for our community and the dedication we have to our viewers. WJBF News Channel 6, celebrating 70 wonderful years of coverage you can count on.
Life-changing. You need. Call me anytime. Days, nights, weekends, and even on the holidays.
Well, the race for the White House is heating up. Candidates hitting the campaign trail in Iowa and New Hampshire.
Both President Biden and former President Trump also weighing in on the race. Liz Landers has more.
With less than 5 weeks until the Iowa caucus, former President Donald Trump retains a commanding lead in the polls and doubled down this weekend on comments he made that he's ready to be a dictator, but only on day one in office.
And you know why I wanted to be a dictator? Because I want a wall, right? I want a wall, and I want to drill, drill, drill.
President Joe Biden telling supporters in a private fundraiser this weekend that the greatest threat that Trump poses to the country is the continuation of democracy, likening some of Trump's recent comments to lines from Nazi Germany. While Trump still dominates the Republican field, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley is hoping to be seen as an alternative to Trump as she experiences a surge in the polls and major donors lend new support. She sat down with ABC's Lindsay Davis for an exclusive interview.
I want to start where the last debate left off. One question went unanswered as far as, is Donald Trump fit to be president? Do you think Donald Trump today in 2023 is fit to be president?
It's not about fitness. I think he's fit to be president. It's should he be president. I don't think he should be president.
Haley, though, is trailing behind Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in a new Des Moines Register poll out on Monday. For Iowa caucus goers, Trump is still their top pick at 51%, while DeSantis gets 19% of support and Haley comes in third place at 16%. DeSantis, who went after both Trump and Haley for their stances on abortion during campaign stops in Iowa this morning, has secured the endorsement of that state's governor, Kim Reynolds. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
South Carolina law enforcement getting some major help in their fight against human trafficking. $7 million in grant money is going to be coming. It'll be used for all sorts of needs, including new trafficking investigators, a victim's advocate, prosecutors, paralegals, investigators in the 9th and 1st Circuits, and that canine there is a key part of the fight against trafficking. Those dogs can sniff out small devices used for internet crimes.
It's Canine Ripple. She's right down here in the front, well behaved with her handler, Detective Heidkamp. And just to give you an idea, that dog just came on board with us last week. It was donated by Defenders for Children. And what that dog does is actually seeks out the odor of memory cards. This dog aided a local agency in Berkeley County yesterday with a search warrant for evidence for Internet Against Crime with infant children.
All of those new law enforcement positions should be filled by February.
Tim joins us now for another check of the
/career. The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today. Weather headlines on News Channel 6, brought to you by Jamie Casino Injury Attorneys. Now, WJBF sports coverage you can count on.
The Georgia High School Association Football State Championships moving into Mercedes-Benz Stadium this year after being at Georgia State the last few seasons. The Swainsboro Tigers playing in the 1A Division I title game. Swainsboro's last and only state championship came back in 2000. This year's team, the 12th team in Georgia history to reach the state finals by winning 4 playoff games away from home. And my Football Friday Night co-host Graham Lee is live in Atlanta as Swainsboro's take on Prince Avenue Christian right now. Hey there, Graham.
Well, that's right, Brendan. As you mentioned, it's been 23 years since Swainsboro has won the state championship, but they've been in it the last 2 years playing this Prince Avenue Christian team. And just like it was last year, it's been a high-scoring game. Currently, the score is 35-26, Prince Avenue Christian. And though they've been leading a good bit of the game, Swainsboro is still in the fight. I mentioned a little while ago, DeMello Jones has been the main man for Swainsboro. 26 points, all 26 points have been because of him. He has 4 touchdowns, 2-point conversion, and actually, Prince Avenue Christian just scored again, so it's now 42-26. But as the night continues, this is going to be a entertaining game to watch. We'll have the final score update at News Channel 6 at 7, and of course, we'll give you a full recap at 10 and 11 tonight. Now live in Atlanta, Graham Lee, WJBF, News Channel 6. Brendan, back to you, man.
Thanks, Graham. And they scored right when he was on the air. And for the first time since the GHSA adopted the sport, we have an Augusta area team playing for a flag football state championship. Greenbrier tomorrow will take on Lithia Springs in the state championship, 11 a.m. Back up there at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Well, full coverage for you from that one as well. The Falcons let a chance to take full control of the...
About that in detail, that forecast in just a few minutes. Renata?
Tim, thanks. Augusta Transit is offering free transportation to 3 warming shelters ahead of the cold weather this week. The free transportation will be to the Salvation Army Center of Hope, Augusta Rescue Mission, and the Garden City Rescue Mission. The bus started services earlier today at that Broad Street transfer facility and will operate continuously until 7:30 p.m.
For our clients, so typically they'll check out every morning at 8 a.m. But when it's this cold, if it's at 32 degrees or below, we will allow them to stay until 10 a.m. to check out. If it's still that cold by 10 a.m. Until noon, actually, if it's still that cold, we will let them just stay for the whole day.
Again, transportation until 7:30 p.m. That's just under a half an hour. It's the season for giving and thieving. Porch pirates are out this time of year looking to steal packages right off your front porch. Hannah Latier spoke to local law enforcement about the issue.
Law enforcement leaders I spoke to say there's an increase in package thefts during the holiday season, but technology has been making it easier to catch these bandits.
With plenty of sunshine, lows around freezing, highs only in the 50s. We'll flirt with 60 degrees midweek, but we're right back to the 50s again. We'll talk all about that in detail, that forecast, in just a few minutes. Renata?
Tim, thanks. Augusta Transit is offering free transportation to 3 warming shelters ahead of the cold weather this week. The free transportation will be to the Salvation Army Center of Hope, Augusta Rescue Mission, and the Garden City Rescue Mission. The bus started services earlier today at that Broad Street transfer facility and will operate continuously until 7:30 p.m.
For our clients, so typically they'll check out every morning at 8 a.m. But when it's this cold, if it's at 32 degrees or below, we will allow them to stay until 10 a.m. to check out. If it's still that cold by 10 a.m. Until noon, actually, if it's still that cold, we will let them just stay for the whole day.
Again, transportation until 7:30 p.m. That's just under a half an hour. It's the season for giving and thieving. Porch pirates are out this time of year looking to steal packages right off your front porch. Hannah Latier spoke to local law enforcement about the issue.
Law enforcement leaders I spoke to say there's an increase in package thefts during the holiday season, but technology has been making it easier to catch these bandits. It's It's no secret that online shopping is convenient, but there are some risks that come with it. A recent study by security.org shows 44 million Americans have had a package stolen in the last 3 months.
With the influx of packages that are being delivered, obviously you have more theft involved. So some of the things that we would like to tell people, maybe to remind them of, is keep up with your notifications for your packages.
Doorbell and surveillance cameras can help both you and law enforcement with this problem.
This is like a crime of opportunity, so having that visible presence is something that can deter it. It's been a valuable law enforcement tool for us for a lot of reasons, and porch package thefts is no different. We've had a lot of opportunities where the community has given us good information, leads to investigate suspects that have been involved in these package thefts.
It helps us with follow-ups as far as being able to identify suspects, suspect vehicles. Sometimes we are able to get a tag number, but that would be like if the vehicle, pulled in the driveway.
A spokesperson for USPS says you should pick up your packages as soon as possible or use signature confirmation. You can also report stolen mail on its website. But police officers tell me the first thing you should do is contact them.
Due to this package thefts, we make an effort to patrol the neighborhoods in general. This is one reason why. In the event that they do have a package stolen, they need to call public safety and have us come out and investigate it, and we can see what we can do to locate that suspect.
Officers also want to remind you to stay vigilant this holiday season, whether you're at home or on the roads. In North Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
Thanks, Hannah. Well, you have exactly 2 weeks to finish Christmas shopping, and if you have to ship some of those gifts, you may want to hurry because holiday shipping deadlines are looming. You might want to send them out earlier in the day. If you go too late, your package may not ship until the next day. The first deadline is FedEx Ground Economy shipping. That's coming up this Wednesday. Jean Paul says she isn't worried about her packages arriving in time for Christmas, though.
I'm a military brat, and having spent many years separate from my family in a lot of different places, I always ship very early because I'm always fearful that they will not receive their gift in time. So usually by the first week of December, maybe the second week, I have my things out the door.
You can find the full list of shipping deadlines for the post office, FedEx, and UPS on our website, WJBF.com. Greenbrier girls flag football team